This is gonna be rough, but we're gonna all get through it together. Hi. Ew. What? Hey guys. Guys. Hey. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just gonna like disclaimer. Are you ready? Anyways, okay. So the cat is not out of the bag. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm just gonna start it. So I just like, yeah, I'm starting a YouTube channel and like I want to use it for, so okay, rewind. So yeah. What am I trying to say? Yep. Okay. I am starting this channel because I am moving to Australia for 6 months and I thought, what a perfect time. So basically, but this video specifically is just, anyways, so like I'm making this video specifically because oh my gosh, I literally can't talk. I genuinely don't know English. Yeah, okay. I'm making this video because I really just wanted to like update people on like what's going on in my life, and it's like the perfect start video because I get to talk about like my story a little bit. And so yeah, okay, I guess I'll just like start from the beginning and like everything will just like happen from there. So basically I am technically a freshman and a half. I don't know. I've completed 1 semester of college, but I only got 6 credits because college is hard. So basically I live in Florida and I went to a high school here and I got accepted to University of Florida, so that's where I went. I'm not bragging, but it plays a big role in the story, okay? I was salutatorian and I guess I was smart. I call it hardworking because I feel like I'm kind of an idiot, but so I got accepted to UF, which was like, I actually wanted to go to Brown or UPenn or NYU. I literally wanted to go anywhere but Florida, like anywhere, literally. Like I was like, get me out of Florida. Like I was just like, no, like I don't know, I hated Florida for a minute. But yeah, so I didn't get accepted to any of my dream schools, which is like fine. I was like, it wasn't, no, I cried a lot. But I got accepted to UF and I just had this like peace about it. So okay, anyway, I didn't get accepted. I did get accepted to UF. So then graduation comes around and I graduate. And the school that I went to, we went on like mission trips. So I went to Honduras in March and it was amazing. It was so good. We like worked with kids at an orphanage and it was so good. We actually all got like really bad traveler's diarrhea. So then over the summer I felt really called to go back to Honduras, and so I did. And I went to like a student life camp, which is so cliche, like ugh. It's cliche, but it was amazing. And I went to a student life camp with my church, which literally my church is like the best Harborside Christian church. Shameless church plug. Dab dab. So I went to Honduras, and then basically I just like, I felt so close with the Lord there. Like I don't even know, like this past like almost year, sort of 9 months, something like that. Like the Lord has just like taken hold of my heart and just like wrecked it and transformed it, and it's been so good, like so many blessings. And like going to Honduras was a huge part of that. I started at UF and I loved it. Like I loved it, and I did rush a sorority. I more did it because I felt like the Lord was calling me to, not because I wanted to necessarily. Completely nothing against like sororities or Greek life or whatever. Like they're just like, I don't fit that. Like I don't fit that. My sorority was actually like one of the biggest blessings at UF. Like it was crazy how it happened. Like through my sorority, I met I'm having a stroke. Literally like the most amazing people and the most amazing girls like I've ever met, seriously. And also, not to mention, my roommate, freaking love that chick. She became my best friend, and I was just like having the time of my life. I found through my sorority, I found my church, Alive Church. They're the best, check them out. I fell in love with these people. Like, I'm not kidding you, like I've never met anyone like these people, and I fell in love with them, and I was just like, I love darkness. Why doesn't my piano work? It's really confusing. Oh, that's why. I fell in love with these people, and they took me in, and like my roommate and I, Lainey and I, we went to the church, and I mean they just like literally took us in like we were family, and it was so great, and I love all of them like so deeply, and they really impacted my life so much. So then, okay, so like here's like a couple God moments, and they're all like in this baby. Gosh, there's just so many. Jeez. Aww. Aww. Sorry, they're just like, there's so many good God moments. Ugh. So I'm just gonna like cut like a bunch of things out, but like talk about some like the main things. So one of the main things was I knew that I was struggling between staying in my sorority or going in like full send in the church. One night I had a meeting for my sorority, and I had like not been to one of these meetings in a long time, and so I was like super overwhelmed with all the information. Everybody seemed caught up and like knew what they were doing, and I was just like, what? So I like prayed super hard about it when I was walking home, and I was just like, Lord, like if you want me to stay in this sorority, give me a sign. If you want me to leave, give me a sign. What do you want me to do? I don't want to make a decision, because if it was up to me, I'd be like, bye. But I want to do what you want to do. So I still get the chills. I walked home, I got home, I opened my cabinet, and I kid you not, the minute I opened it, this mug that I had gotten from my sorority fell and shattered in front of me. And in that instant, I picked up my phone, and I got a text from the worship leader at my church talking about auditioning for the worship team. And I had texted him 3 days prior to this with no response until that very minute. And I was just like I get it. So that was amazing. And that is when I transitioned into like pouring myself into the church, and I just really wanted to like get involved, and I was passionate about it. And I mean, I just like knew that something big was gonna happen. I didn't realize what it was gonna be at this point, and now looking back, that's cool. I just realized that. That's really cool. Because I knew something big was gonna come out of me being at UF, but I didn't know what. Now I do. So I started getting really involved in the church, and part of that was we had like on Tuesday nights we had all the like college kids would get together, and there'd be like a message and worship and stuff like that. And so on one of the nights, the pastor asked if any of us wanted to volunteer at the Mosaic, which if you don't know who Mosaic is, Mosaic is like a big like Christian band. They're like pretty famous and they're pretty dope, and they were coming to Alive for a concert. It was gonna be like Mosaic, Matt Brock. I need to figure that out. Mac Brock. Oh my gosh, no. Carrie Job's husband, I don't know his name, I'm sorry. And then Local Sound. I suck. The pastor asked if any of us wanted to like help out, and I was like, bro, like, what's up? So so that was a Tuesday night, so then it was that Thursday, and I got there at like 1 p.m. and the concert didn't start till 7, and I felt really official because I got like the little, what do you call it? The little like lanyard that said like, we are here for you. And I was like, I'm kind of the coolest person ever. Just kidding. No, but it was really cool. And I like met Mosaic, and it was dope. And I like, basically what I was doing was I was helping out with the merch. Like their merch, and like when people like wanted to come like during a concert or whatever and buy it. I like, that's what I was doing. So the reason that I'm like saying all this is because this night I like met somebody who like completely, not like changed my life, but like impacted my life in a way that like I had no idea. Like I just think it's really cool how God sends in people randomly and they just like blow your mind, and you're just like, what? Like, whoa. I hadn't seen this person in years. Maybe not years, that's exaggerating. In a really long time. We went to high school together. He was at the concert, and the weird thing is that he lives back in my hometown. I don't know, it was just weird. And my hometown is like 3 hours away from UF. So a little weird. I don't know. That was a God moment. So I started getting more involved with the church, and I have been praying so hard about this like, not burden, but this like calling that I had on my heart for missions. And I feel like I had always kind of like felt this call, but it took going to UF. Well, first it took not getting accepted into the colleges I wanted, going to UF, and just being completely stripped of my pride, because I had always thought, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a surgeon, like I'm smart, I can do this, I'm a hard worker, you know. And it took like a lot of nights of literally studying super hard just to fail for me to be like, wait, I'm not, like, I'm just a number here. And that's like okay, like that's not like, oh that's sad, like that's okay, it's good to know, like it's good to be humbled like that. Because I was just completely humbled. And I love talking about this because it's so good. I didn't know it like at the time. Well, I did know it at the time. I remember one night I had taken my chemistry exam, and I had studied so hard for this thing, like so hard, and I literally got a 53 on it, and I was like, bro. And I remember walking out of the exam room and just like waiting until I got into like the darkness of the street, because it was nighttime, and just like crying. But I mean, this is serious. Like I remember thinking, I'm not as smart as everybody expects me to be. And I just feel like all my life I had this like label on me that like I was gonna be the surgeon in the family, I was gonna go to the Ivy League, I was gonna do this, And I think that sometimes labels can be, even positive labels can have a negative effect. And not like my family was like, not like they were like being positive and uplifting my dreams and therefore I was negatively affected by it. Not like that, just that I think on accident that became my identity and that became who I was gonna be. The only thing that in my mind I could be. So yeah, and Jesus just wrecked my heart through humbling me, but also wrecked my heart through the people that I met, and like the person at the concert, he was one of them, and the people in my sorority, they freaking just supported me like so unbelievably. Like, it's gonna make me cry, because I'm gonna miss them a lot, but like them and the people at my church, like I met some of my best friends there and they always supported me and literally like pulled me up into my calling. Like they were never, I don't know, they did it also without knowing they were doing it. Like for example, this is crazy, I was praying one night about, you know, Jesus revealing my call to me and like what that looked like. I mean, missionary was always a word in my head that I always like pushed down. So weird like thinking about it now, but anyway, so yeah, I was praying about it, and the next day my friend from church texted me and said, hey, can you come into the church and help me with something? And I was like, sure. So I got to the church and it was her and the pastor that were sitting there, and I was like, whoa, am I in trouble? She was like, so have you ever been on a mission trip? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you like mission trips? And I was like, yes. And she was like, well, how do you feel about helping me lead one to Haiti? And I said, what? Okay. And I like was curious. My lady. Nope, not mine. And I was curious as to like why they picked me. My pastor literally just was like, oh, like we felt like you would be good for it. Like we feel like called to pick you basically. And I was like, okay, Jesus, like I see you. Like that was crazy. Alright, so my camera died. I feel like a real YouTuber now. The person that I met at the Mosaic concert, a lot of his friends went to this Christian school, Southeastern University, that's close to where we live. And he like loves the school, so at SEU they do this thing every Monday, like the first Monday of every month. It's called like First Monday, I think, and it's a chapel on Monday, first Monday of every month. How many times are we gonna say first Monday? And so he wanted me to go, or he like invited me to go one Monday, and I ended up going, and just like knowing that I needed to be there, because I went to a Christian high school and we always had like college fairs, and it was always Christian colleges, and I was always like, oh my gosh, like no, I'm never gonna go to a Christian college, that's stupid. Like again, it was my pride. I was like, oh, when somebody asks you where you go to school, I don't want to have to say like, oh, like Southeastern, like it was so stupid, but it was definitely like pride. And so yeah, I think I had always known, it's weird, like looking back, like being at the college fairs, I almost like never went to the Southeastern like booth because I knew I wanted to go there. I don't know, it was weird, I don't know. And everybody who knew me like would be like, Carly, what? You didn't want to go there. But like I knew like in my heart that I did, but again, it was pride that covered it up. So anyways, I went to the first Monday, and I just was like, I fell in love, really. Like I just fell in love. I knew I was meant to be there. And then he introduced me to one of his really good friends, and her and I became really good friends. And so like obviously like that drew me to the school too. And like my best friend was applying there, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to go there. Because I had, like, Jesus had just completely, had already like humbled me, wrecked my heart, and I was just like, I started to feel like really out of place at UF, and I already knew that I was supposed to go there, but then all these like God moments and all these people and all these blessings, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like I need to listen. I need to listen to like what I felt like Jesus was telling me, and I prayed about it a lot, and had a lot of like really amazing quiet time, and spent a lot of time with Jesus about this decision, because I didn't want it to be like, oh, like I have friends there. And the thing is I had friends at UF, so I knew it like wasn't that, but like I wanted to make sure it wasn't like, oh, I'm going there like because I want to be with my best friend, or because like I went there once and now I'm like in love with it. Like, I don't know. I didn't want to go there like for the wrong reasons, you know? And so I prayed a lot, and just like one thing after the next, just like confirmation and signs, I was just like, okay, gotta go. So I like filled out my application, submitted it, and yeah. So that happened. And then so it was like further into the semester, and I was just feeling like so out of place. Like I can't even like describe how I was feeling. It was really weird. And I knew it wasn't homesickness, because usually that happens like in the beginning, and then you like get over it and you get used to the school and you like transition, right? Like it's a transition period. But I like was in love with UF at first. Like I was like, this is where I need to be. Like I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna like, if this will be my Jerusalem, like I'm gonna, I don't know. I was just like really excited about it, and it slowly became more and more like I was coming home like every weekend, and I just did not want to be in Gainesville. I just did not want to be there. There was like this heaviness on my heart. It was so weird. It was so weird. And like I can't really like describe it, other than I just knew that that's not where God was calling me. So this is really weird. So again, words, they're great things when you know how to use them. So I had brought my roommate back to my hometown, and we were at like Starbucks or something, like doing homework, I don't know, and I was just like scrolling through Instagram, and this ad came up on Instagram, and it said, it was really funny, it said, graduated high school and not know what to do with your life? Click here. And I clicked, and it came up with this thing called YWAM Townsville, and I was like, what? And I like did more research, and I was just like looking into like what this thing was that told me that they would be able to discover God's calling for my life. Like I was like, what is this? And I was watching videos on it, and my friend that I had just met, like I had just met her, we had just become like I like fell in love with her, she's amazing. It popped up on the screen in this video, and I was like, you see this? Jesus. I called her and I was like, bro, did you go to YWAM Townsville? And she was like, yes, oh my gosh, it changed my life. And she just like went on about like basically how amazing it was. And so YWAM Townsville, YWAM stands for Youth with a Mission, and Townsville is in Australia. And it's basically this like program, it's a discipleship training school for like missionaries, and you get to just basically like learn about Jesus and do missions and travel. Anyways, yeah, I signed up, I applied, and I just felt so excited. I was so excited. But then that weekend I went back to Gainesville, and the same thing, just feeling completely out of place. Every day I woke up and there was more and more weight on my heart, and I was so confused. This is mainly supposed to be an announcement, but there's so many cool God moments, and like just Jesus has done so much, literally so much, that like I need to just like say everything. My life verse is Matthew 6:33, which is, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So love that verse. It's important to the story. Like one day I was just like, I was feeling like actually so overwhelmed, like more than just like slightly overwhelmed, like more than I had been. I was feeling more out of place than I had been. So I literally just like, I just wanted a day like of just like quiet, like, you know, like I didn't want like distractions. I didn't want like homework. I literally just like nothing. So I like turned my phone off, and I just was like, all right, just like me and you, Jesus, me and you, let's do this. I was in the car and I was worrying. Literally that's the best word that I can use, like anxiety, worrying just about why I was feeling this way and what in the freaking world I was supposed to do about it. So I was in my car and I had my phone on, and I literally never listened to the radio. I never, ever listen to the radio. That's important. I had to perfectly time that to and then for it to be completely static, his voice to come through at that moment, but then for it to just go completely static right when he was finished. I was like, ah, chills again. What's up? So yeah, that was just absolutely ridiculous. And that was just a really cool God moment, like just seeing like Jesus just so clearly like working in my life. So then basically about a week after that, in my mind, like Jesus and I, we decided we're going to Australia. So oh my gosh, there's so many Jesus moments that have to do with that too, like just so many. I guess I will tell you like a few. I was really confused as to why God would allow me to say yes to something, but then call me to something else that would mean that I would have to let people down. Because if I did go to this Australia thing, it would run into like the month of June, and I was supposed to go like lead this mission trip to Haiti in May. And so I was just like really, I was almost like kind of discouraged, because I was like, but why? Like, why would God call me to do something that would allow me to let other people down? Like, that just doesn't make sense, you know? So what you can do is with the, with the YWAM thing, you can set up a time to call somebody over there and like talk to them about things. And usually the conversations are only supposed to last like, when you schedule your time, it's like from 7:45 to 8 or something like that. Shoot, my dad's home. We talked for an hour, and this guy, he's really there to encourage you, and so it's really neat. Like, he prayed over me and everything. It was so cool. But he told me this story about in Acts, when Paul and Silas go to spread the word. And it says, like, in the verse, who says that? Who says, what up, 212? Who says that? What's that movie from? Oh, that's Pam in The Office. I should have known. There it is. Okay. So it says, okay. So they're talking about like Paul and Silas. So it says, they were forbidden by the Holy Spirit to preach the word in Asia. So like the Holy Spirit, like Jesus' spirit literally like blocks them from going into this land that they felt Jesus had called them to. And so the guy on the phone like goes on explaining that sometimes we have to say yes in order to be open to God's steering. And I was just like, whoa, like Holy Spirit is using you right now. Because he was saying how like Paul really felt out of place and like he wasn't meant to be there, but he was confused because God had led him there. But sometimes you have to say yes, and then God will steer you to where he wants you to go. So I was just literally just Jesus again. Like that's just like, I literally was like, can I stop you for a second and tell you how crazy that is that you just said that? He told me some amazing stories about just God providing with money and stuff, because I was like, bro, kind of expensive. But he just like said this one thing that just like stood out, and I was just like, okay, cool. He said that he was like, let's be really conservative and say that somebody can survive with $500 a month. And he was like, that's probably not true, but like let's just say $500 a month. And he said, so we have about 20,000 employees for working for YWAM. They're not working, they're missionaries. So 500 times 20,000, and he like did some calculations. He was like, that's about $10 million that the Lord provides every month. And I was just like, okay, cool. I got off the phone with him and I immediately was like, this is what I'm doing. This is it. I'm gonna do it. So I talked to my roommate and she cried, and she's adorable and I love her. No, I'm not really cry. I prayed a lot more, but then I had a lot of peace about it, and I had to go to my church and ask them, because I wasn't gonna like make any like specific, like really like hardcore like concrete moves before I talked to them, obviously, and made sure that they had like a replacement for me and all that stuff. So I went and I talked to the girl that was like co-leading it with me, and she was just so supportive, you know, just like so supportive. And I was really nervous about it too, and she was just like, no, like go to Australia. And I was like, okay. And so then, I mean, oh my gosh, I think I like chipped my tooth. The weight was lifted off my heart. Like, it was lifted like that day. I literally, after I talked to the church, I had gone to the Office of Admissions, the bursar office, the financial aid office, the advising office. Like, I went everywhere, and I was like, so I'm leaving? Like, what do I do? And basically, there's no like formal process when you like withdraw from a campus. I don't know, it's really weird. They were just like, oh, just like don't enroll for like 2 semesters and we won't charge you, and we'll just like end up taking you off like our list. And I'm like, okay. Like what? But I did. And I just, that day I was just filled with like so much joy. Like, it was just so crazy. And I have been struggling a lot too with like, well, how is like everybody gonna react to this? Like, mainly like my family. Like, you have like this brain, like you have like all these accomplishments. Like, why don't you do something with it? Why become a missionary? You know? And I mean, I've had people ask me that, like, what do you, like, who transfers from UF to SCU? Like, that, like, somebody said that. And you know, who goes from doing this to being a missionary? And I'm like, wow. There's actually this quote that it was on like my friend's story, and I like screenshotted it, and it's so good. And it's not like a quote, it's from a book. It says, in my dream, I see a generation of young people abandon their comfortable lives to fly in great numbers out into the harsh world to cover it with the glory of God. Their quest will seem reckless to those committed to a life of self-interest. And I was just like, I don't know, it like really hit me because I was like, whoa. Anyways, I packed up and I left. I packed my dorm, and I finished the semester, so I took my finals and stuff, but you know, like for break when I came home, I packed up my dorm and I came back home, and yeah, and so I leave for Australia the 27th. So it's gonna be Townsville, Australia for 6 months. I leave the 27th of this month and I will be back in June. So that was like the main point of this whole video, was that like I wanted to like basically talk about like where I was and why I'm not going to UF anymore, and where I'm going and how like God worked through it all. And I thought it was like the perfect excuse to start a YouTube channel because I've always wanted to, and I have like a really cool story, I think, and maybe something that some people who know me at least would be interested in. So like why I'm literally like, what's happening? Yeah, and that's like another thing is that I'm so thankful for, this is so cheesy, it's so cheesy, but I'm so thankful for everybody that God put in my life this past season. I mean, every single person I met, the people I met in Gainesville, the people I met at UF in general. Yeah? Everybody that I met like in Gainesville, at UF in general, through a live, through my sorority, like everyone there played such an important role in my life, like played such an important role in my season that God had me in. I'm so like, I can't even talk. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that helped me to get to here. Like, I mean, God used each and every one of you in my life for a specific purpose and for a specific reason, and you all were so instrumental in getting me to where God is calling me to go. Because I feel like I kind of just like pieced out when I left UF. Like I just kind of was like, all right, well, I'm moving across the world for 6 months, and then I'm never coming back to UF. Bye. And I mean, it was like the timing, it was like it all happened so fast, it was crazy. And then finals, and then winter break. And so I just want everyone to know how incredibly thankful I am for all of you, and how, not like all of you like my viewers, no, you guys know who you are, like I don't have to say it, like you know who you are. The people at Alive, the people at UF, the people I met in Gainesville, like in general, and like the people at my sorority, like you guys are so dope. Like you guys are so incredible, and God used you in my life, and I wouldn't be going where I'm going if it wasn't for this past season, if it wasn't for every single person that God laid in my path, and I'm so grateful for that. I also just like wanted to like encourage you a little bit. So my friends and I were reading through Job the other night, and I'm not a pastor, so don't like quote me on it or anything, but Job is just like this book about in the Bible about this guy who had like a pretty good life, didn't really do anything wrong, and got like everything taken away from him for like seemingly no reason. And so in, let's see, Job 7, this is Job talking about his suffering and like how he's like going through like this pain. I feel like the camera shut off and I forgot to turn it back on. No, oh my gosh, that's so good. I was so scared for a second. And something just like really stuck out to me. Something that I feel like really taught me through this season, and something that I think is like a super big encouragement for anyone who's feeling the way that I was feeling. So it is Job 7, and it's a couple places. So it's like verses 13 through like through 14, and then 20 and 21. So 7, 13 and 14 says, This is Job talking. When I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you scare me with dreams and terrify me with visions. And then 20 and 21 says, why have you set me as your target, so that I am a burden to myself? Why then do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? And I just, something about like these verses stuck out to me so much, and what I like wrote next to it was, sometimes God does not want you to feel settled so that you're forced to move. And I think that's like so true in life. And so, because it says, when I say my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, when we depend on like the material things or the things of the world, it says, then you scare me with dreams and terrify me with visions. It's like, God's like, no, like, no, like, no, me, like, focus on me. Like, no, I don't want you to feel settled here. So, like, don't be comfortable. Don't say that, like, you feel comfortable here, because I want you to go there. I don't want you to stay here. And, like, that was just something that was so cool, because I was confused as to, like, why I felt so unsettled. Because literally since this season has started, I have felt so unsettled. And that's, like, the best word I can use for it. Because, for example, yeah, this is really disgusting, but when I got home, I had brought bed bugs. Makes me feel weird. Anyways, I brought bed bugs from home. So I literally couldn't even sleep in my own bed when I got home. Like, I think it's just, like, looking back on this past season, even just this past week, anything I do, it's like impossible for me to feel settled, and I am just being catapulted to go and do and go. And so yeah, I just think that's like super encouraging, that even if you are feeling unsettled or like you're not supposed to be where you're supposed to be, like God has something for you, and I just think that is dope. All right, last time. The main point is that your girl is broke and needs money. I started a Poshmark because I have way too many clothes, and so I'm selling on my Poshmark. I'm like selling a bunch of my clothes, and the money that I get from that will go to my trip to Australia. I also have a GoFundMe, so you can donate there too. Like if like the clothes run out, not like they will, but like if the clothes do run out, and like there's no more clothes items, you can still donate. I really just want to talk about Jesus. I really want a platform to talk about him. I was thinking about doing like a blog, but then I was like, I don't know. I feel like a vlog would be kind of dope. I know I want to talk about Jesus, and I want you guys to like be able to, like, I don't know, like ask questions, but I also want to do like vlogs and stuff. So you can, oh my gosh, it's so YouTuber. I'll put the link below for my Poshmark, and I'll put the link below for the GoFundMe. Yeah, so, whoa, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna do peace, because like, I never like, or like, not like making, like that's just not me, you know? Thanks for watching. I don't like this part. I will see you guys in the next one. So cringy. Bye. Oh gosh, I don't know. Peace out. Peace. I feel like that's good.
Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs, no ray of sunlight's ever lost.